Hi, I'm Miss Angie. Welcome to the Miss Angie Show. Welcome to my home. This is where we sit and we hash out life, and we want to make sure that everybody feels satisfied and fulfilled. She's been with us now for about 4.5 years, and we have her heart. TV and Hollywood, and she can name more actors than she can presidents. She has a vision for her life already at 14. She knows what she wants to do, and she really is fun.
I am Selena Joy Weber, and I have been with Miss Angie for almost 4 years. When I first saw Miss Angie, I was like, oh, puppies, I'll just try and ignore the crazy lady and play with the puppies. I was living at Troy and Shannon's. I mostly felt like I wanted to go back to my family because there was a lot of bad things that they had done to me and my brothers. I had told her what had happened to me at Troy and Shannon's, and she started to understand, and she said that we could tell someone about it, and she comforted me after I had told her of what Troy had done to me. He had raped me, but then he had gotten his punishment for what he did, though. At first, after I realized what my dad was going through and what he had done, it was kind of hard to forgive him somewhat of when I learned what had happened back then. I had read a message Mom gave me about his child neglection that he had done when one time we went to the park and I asked him if that was true, and he had said yes. And at first it was hard for me to forgive him, but then right then and there I started to forgive him for what he did. I didn't know how to explain it back then because I was young. When Miss Angie started talking about God a lot, I decided to give him my heart at the age of 10. I felt like that there was a big kind of person who was hovering over me and keeping me safe. I heard a song once called Hold Me Jesus by Rich Mullins, and how his grace rung out so deep and it made my resistance seem so thin. Miss Angie's godly. She likes to teach a lot, and she's very beautiful and kind and nice to me.
I feel like she could be grounded till she's 40.
Right. right.
But what does that benefit? It really doesn't benefit anything. No.
It does not.
So go ahead and have ice cream.
Yeah.
I mean, my expectation is different than yours.
Absolutely.
How do you handle that?
How I handle it is, I have to always, in my house, I see what you do. So I'm not going to reward you for you to do something for me because you're not a dog that I want to trick. If, I give my dog a treat, I say, lay down, get a treat. I'm not going to say, okay, you be nice today, and I'm going to no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to see what you do. And then I'm going to let you know that I noticed you. I noticed you this week. You didn't do such. So now here you are. I'm not going to dangle in front of you. I don't care what the therapist say. I don't care what the social workers say. I don't care about all. I know what works for me.
Right.
Because that child is only going to give you what you ask for.
Right.
I want more than that when I know that they're capable of more. So, and in the, don't, you have to break a lot of rules in your house. You have to break a lot of rules. So if, you're the person that don't want, your child to have, ice cream before dinner, you may have to throw that out the door to get some peace in your house.
Traditional parenting does not exist.
It's gone.
It's gone.
You may have to just say, you know what, to keep the peace in here, so what? She going to eat it anyway. Doesn't matter before or after. You know what I'm saying?
When I find candy wrappers in the bed, I'm like, can we just get them in the trash? I don't care that you ate the candy.
Just candy wrappers. Oh, Lord, you good. Potato chip, water bottles, soda bottles, cooking food. I'm like, I said no eating up here.
Ideas in her head.
Girl, everything. And the one I get is, I don't know where it came from. I didn't do it.
They don't know.
Okay, no, they don't know.
They know.
Yeah, they do know.
They just won't.
They do.
Own up.
Right. And so when you doing your discipline, you have to find what works for you because it's not the norm of what we think. I remember being in my first foster care class and Kathleen Buckley, I never forget it. She was saying, Joanna, she was saying, you got to move all your pretty stuff out of the way. And I'm thinking, I'm not doing that.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, I'm not. They said, just go ahead and move it, so it won't get broken. I'm like, no, they're going to learn not to touch my stuff. I'm thinking, this is my first class, okay? And I'm saying, no, I'm not moving it. I'm not.
You know what my worker told me? My worker told me, she said, we never blame the parents. We always blame foster care. I said, honey, we blaming the parents in my house.
Yes. So needs to say.
I want you to know daddy did this and mommy did this. I didn't do this.
That didn't work with me. I moved my stuff because it was going to be broken. It was going to be broken. It was. Mm-hmm. So you will change the way that you think in this setting. Very much so.
Very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I have a question for you, if I may. Because you said something about when you have to know that enough is enough and the child may need a higher level of care. Yes. And how do you feel about that?
I'm okay with that.
You're okay with it?
If they need a higher level of care, really the focus was for the child to succeed. And if a higher level of care gives them the position to succeed.
Absolutely.
I tell Selena every night I love her and that I'm proud of her.
Yes.
And I work very hard to make sure I'm communicating that. Very intentional. And just the other day she came up and she goes, well, you don't say that you love me and you're proud of me enough. When would you like me to say it again?
Right.
Like in the morning, in the afternoon, you want me to text it to you? I don't know what. That they're not absorbing?
It's not. It's a control issue, and I don't play that game.
Yes,
I don't play that game. You're not gonna push me in a corner. You're not gonna bully me when I know what I'm doing. You're not gonna make me feel guilty about it. So yeah, that was a control.
Do you feel it stronger in the boys or the girls?
Girls. In the girls.
The girl. They want to be queen bee. That's mine.
Yeah.
She wants to be queen bee.
Yeah, I feel it more in the girls. But I'm not falling for it.
Yeah, she pushes my boundaries all the time to see if I'll move. So Jeff can be sitting right there and she'll still ask me. She won't ask Jeff. I'm like, he ain't broken.
Right.
You can ask him questions.
Right. Yes. And that's what it is. It's about control. I don't let them control the narrative. They still have to have boundaries. They still have to know that I'm the parent. They still have to know that they need to be disciplined, and I am not going to be at your beck and call when I am always there. I can't do more than enough.
Right.
I have done more than enough. Yes,
they feel safe in those boundaries, and but they still push them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They want to see if they can move.
Oh yeah.
Change them colors.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's taught me that I was not patient. It taught me that I was selfish. And it has brought me to a place of being more patient and unselfish. I've always been caring. I've always had a big heart. I've always loved children. But I'm not the type of person that go, ooh, look. I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of person. So it seems as if I'm kind of hard and stern, and I'm not. Right. I am a disciplinary, but not to the point where they can't breathe. So it's taught me to.
Okay, they don't breathe.
So it has taught me how to be more unselfish, and it has really taught me how to be patient and more understanding, and also to be more adaptable to change.
Flexible, yes. I think foster care has taught me mostly the other side, a side that I didn't, of humanity, that I didn't know existed. Yeah. I'm crushed to think of the millions of children out there that don't have what our foster children have. Right. And in some cases there's no hope for them because they're living on the streets. Yeah. And the governments are doing their best to help them, but they're stuck.
There's so many and not enough parents. Yeah.
But it's also not my job to carry that burden.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I can't feed a third world country, and it's almost a third world country.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I
absolutely
have learned from foster care. And the other side of that is foster care gave my parents the insight to that other side as well. And so my mom was working with someone on a class, and he was talking about foster care, and she was really able to relate because she'd been walking this road with Selena.
Yes.
And she was able to answer questions.
Yes.
And then he said, because we were getting ready to hit court, and he said no child should testify. And I talked to him personally about his opinion and his perception. Selena didn't testify, and he pled out, and he pled guilty. And so she didn't even have to take the stand. And so court is over. And he's serving his sentence.
See?
And it was like that insight, because my mom had walked the road, was like another avenue of the Lord just providing me with the information I needed. And I was so thankful for that.
Foster care, and I have to say they're different. So I use them, foster care and adoption, some kind of in the same. I think Angie and I were talking one time, and I was telling her that Jesus adopted us into his family. We became adopted, by Jesus through the Father. And we were also talking, and let me just go back to this to Angie. I don't know if you remember.
Okay.
We were saying about the blood.
Yes.
About the blood. And you were saying like the disconnect. And I was saying that time that's why the blood is so important to Jesus, I believe, because it's a blood. Right. If it was our own child, because it would have been a blood. Yes, you can feel the love, or you can feel there is a difference. Right. I have never birthed a child, but I know there has to be a difference between an adoption because of the blood. And I always refer that back to the blood of Jesus and how important it is in the Bible that it's the blood over the doorpost, the blood. And so that's because we were adopted into Christ, and that's how I think I'm kind of going in a circle with this question, but
thank God he did.
Yes, thank God he did, and so that's how I think I look at adoption and foster care through the blood. Because if it was not for prayer, my church family, my mom, my family, my village, it's a lot of things that couldn't got done.
And for me, when we go from the foster care to the adoption, when I don't have the blood, I have the grace. God is providing the bridge of grace to get me there. Even when it's hard, I've got the bridge of grace.
Yes.
And like I had said before, grace is not something you can teach without giving. The only way to teach grace is to give grace. And the only way to give grace back is to have been taught it. So you must receive it in order to give it.
Absolutely.
And so the first couple of years with our foster daughter adopted was all about grace because she'd never heard of it. She didn't know what grace was. Right. And so now we go both ways. That got deep, didn't it?
Yes, it did. In raising the children that I've raised, I have cursed. I have cursed God. I've questioned God. I've been rebellious by saying you didn't do this, so I'm not going to do that. I have not prayed as I should have. I have not went to church sometimes as I should have. I have not given him the thanks that I should have given. And that goes back to where we're looking for to say, thank you. You did a great thing for me. And I haven't done that to God. Yes, we do. But I think about, I've been that way with God. I have tested him and more or less. And I have yet still have been forgiven and still have been accepted and still have been loved and still have been cared for and cared about and supplied for, even through all of that I have done to him as an adopted child, because he adopted me into his family.
So
Broken.
For the record, you've brought 20-some children through your home. How many of them did you adopt?
5.
5.
5 of them.
And do you feel like, other than the one, success is winning?
Yes.
Your impact on them?
Yes. Even in the one that doesn't look like it's winning, I know that I've made an impact.
Good.
What I have to always, and that's a good question, because I have to always in my mind, what I look for as success may not be what they want or call success. So I have to separate what they want, successfully. Yes. And so I think I've been successful through the whole challenge, whether it's just a little something that I see. It's better than it was yesterday. Right. It's better than it was yesterday. And
even if it's minute.
Because
sometimes it really is.
Yes, minute. And I look for the little things. And I have to tell, so yeah, I always, and I go back to my coal and my diamond. My coal and my diamond,
yeah,
girl. Because they're cold, but if you keep rubbing, nurturing, loving, it's that diamond, whatever it is, whatever they turn out to be, however your success is measured by your own self, not by what we want. Yes, I like to have the story of, all of them went to college and now they're successful and they're doing things. Yes, but they may not be what they choose to do. Am I disappointed because it's not what I wanted them to do? No, because I'm going to be proud of them regardless. Right. And let them know. So, yeah.
Okay. So I am a foster child to the Lord. I am a adopted child. So I have never met my natural mother. And so God's grace never left me feeling wanting to meet her. I don't care if I do or if I don't. I think that if I forced an issue like that it would just, what am I trying to say? If I forced it, I could hurt her. What if she didn't tell anybody about me? And so then it hurts her. I don't want to do that. The Lord gave me a mother that met all my needs, that met everything completely. So I feel like, in Ezekiel, the baby that was cast out and left to thine own blood, I wrapped around thee, I put fine jewels on thee, and I took care of thee. And I feel like that's what Christ did with me as his adopted child. He put his skirt over me. He gave me a mom that led me straight to him in all of my years. She adopted us when the grit came. You know what the grit is.
Yes.
She stayed. She fought the fight, the battle that she could fight. The war's won. We're just fighting battles to get to the end. Yes. And so, yeah, that I think God has just been amazing to me, and I'm quite spoiled, which I think
Yes.
You're awesome, and I hope that you'll come again, and we'll do another session and hit another topic, and we're crazy together. Yes. And I think it's just fun, and that's what we want. We just want to relax and have fun.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. This is near and dear to my heart. So,
now,
yes,
there's a foster mom who's out there struggling.
Yes.
Or a mom, even. It's her own child.
Right.
And what advice do you give to her?
I would say to the mom, foster, or natural mom who is struggling, I would say to find support in your church. If you don't go to church, in your community, there is help out there. Do not be an island of one. There are a lot of people that are going through what you're going through. And if you put yourself in that community, you will pull on those resources and find the help that you need.
And for me, if you have any questions or you need help reaching out any resources, my website and email are going to be on the screen, and you feel free to reach out if you have a question for Myra. I am certainly glad to pass it right along to Myra if you feel like you relate to Myra. And we will get you two connected and help you along your journey. So if you enjoy coming into my home as much as I enjoy having you, feel free to visit my Patreon and help us keep these lights going. Appreciate you. Thank you.